Hello and welcome to another edition of European Footballer Adda. We have been doing the review of round two matches of Euro 2024. We have so far covered groups A, B, and C. And now with me, I still have Lahiri and Ritam to cover groups D, E, and F. Okay. So without any ado, let's dive into Group D, where we had two very contrasting results. One was where Poland took a lead, and then Austria, gave them a huge mauling and picked up a vital 3-1 win, which keeps their hopes of progressing to the 2024. I think I had marked Austria as one of the dark horses, and they had second half goals from Christoph Baumgartner and Marko Arnautovic to give that vital victory over Poland. Although that penalty that they got was somewhat contentious, I felt that Szczesny didn't really dive to impede the Austrian player, but Austria had a huge gap in the XG. Austria had a overall XG for this game of 2.13. They had 15 shots, out of which 6 were on target. Poland had a XG of 1.68. They had 15 shots and 2 were on target. Let me come to Ritom first. Ritom, Poland out of the tournament based on these two losses, or do you think that they can come back and beat France and get something?
No, I think this is same old Poland of the last couple of tournaments. Like really labored team, just no fluidity in attack. This time, like previously with Lewandowski, now this time without Lewandowski for most parts of these two games. And Austria were far better. I agree with the penalty. I couldn't believe there was not much of a like protest from Szczesny. I thought it was a yeah, like he fouled clearly, but I don't think it was a penalty. But even then, Austria, I think in the second half, completely dominated Poland. I don't think Poland has got any chance of beating the France side. So yeah, Poland have been disappointing.
Yeah. And
Austria, on the other hand, I
Poland's
think
last
they
tournament
even
match
against
was
France.
against Argentina, right? Tournament-wise,
yes,
last match was Argentina, right?
last match
Yeah.
was Argentina.
They
Yes,
they were
last match on the
so
group
dull in that
stages.
match.
Yes.
Yeah, they were so dull in that match. This is the next tournament. They still continues and same dull.
Yeah, I think Austria even against France were really good. So
They
I
were
mean, they
unlucky to,
continued the good form against Poland.
they were unlucky to lose that match against France.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think Austria will give a fight to Netherlands and may even win that match if the Dutch are as um, I would say as careless as they were in that match against France. Um, but before that, before we come to the France match, um, Lahiri, how impressed are you with Ralph Rangnick's side? How tightly they're playing, how good they are on the defense and on the attack.
I didn't expect much from Austria, honestly. A lot of people consider them as dark horses. I didn't, but after that match, I think that they have a serious team to reckon with. Uh, they were very good. They are very good. They dominated the match very well. I expect them. I feel they will be in the next stage, and I expect them. They will challenge other teams, other bigger teams in next stages. Ralph Ragnick's team is really well, and
So let's come to that France versus Netherlands team. There were two narratives to this match. One narrative was that France was playing without their talismanic striker Mbappe, and justifiably they are the favorites, and they played well in patches. If you look at the xg, their xg was 1.43. They had 15 shots, three of which were on target. So the Dutch played mostly on the counter. uh, they had only 0.47 of xg, eight shots out of which only four were on target, which means that you'd say that France were unlucky to come out with just a draw, because Griezmann, I think, was the person who missed gilt-edged opportunities, multiple gilt-edged opportunities, not just one. And then there is another narrative, which is basically on that goal instead, which was not given, and Xavi Simons had scored a goal which the referee didn't give, because he felt that the goalkeeper Mike Mainan was impeded or stopped from diving for that goal. Let me come to Ritom first. Which narrative do you go with, and why?
I think France were the better. I think it was a game slightly of two halves. I think first half France clearly dominated. I think the Netherlands came back pretty well in the second half. I think it was a much even game, and Netherlands had a good spell. Uh, I thought the goal should have stood. The Javi Simons goal should have stood because I think Maignan was off his line, and like I don't think he was impeded by the forward. I think it was Depay or someone. I'm forgetting, but probably it was Depay who was beside Maignan. I think that goal should have stood, but I've seen these incidents like three or four times now, even in the Champions League. Like these decisions generally go the way of the goalkeeper nowadays. So maybe this is like slightly new standards they've set for the impediment, like not directly like involved in the play, but still,
It was
I'm not sure.
Denzel Dumfries who was
Yeah, Denzel Dumfries was there. Yes. Denzel Dumfries was there. I thought Netherlands could have used, like they started off the game pretty well. I thought it was interesting playing Frimpong and Dumfries together. That could have created far more problems for France, but I didn't think Netherlands played that well because after I think in the first minute Frimpong got an opportunity. After that, Netherlands did not really use him or couldn't use him that great. And yeah, I think Simons played pretty well, and France like that first half chance of Griezmann, but I think Rabiot probably should have shot himself. He tried to tee Griezmann up for a open net, but he slipped and fell. And also there was a second half opportunity, I think, which was saved by Bruggen pretty well.
yeah. Lahiri, what do you feel on this France Netherlands 0-0? This was incidentally the first goalless draw of the entire tournament.
Oh, really? I missed that. I mean, the way Griezmann were missing the goals, Lukaku would have been proud of those. I mean, just it was unwatchable after a certain time. When Rabiot passed that ball, he was the first Lukaku, and then Griezmann played the role of the second Lukaku to miss that goal. Horrible. And the way they were dominating the entire midfield, their attacking third, penetrating and reaching Netherlands penalty box again and again. Except counter attacks, Dutch didn't have anything at all to present in that first half itself. Uh, that was very good to watch, but they should have scored at least two goals in the first half itself. Uh, France was very unfortunate that even without Mbappe, they could have won that match 2-1 2 kind of a thing. And about that impeding, right, as the Ritam said, refs nowadays are very sensitive about protecting goalkeepers. Even if it goes to that VAR also, they are very trying to protect the goalkeeper. So in that sense, it didn't look something odd. It looked something normal the way we watched club football.
Hmm. Hmm. Then I say the
One thing I'd like to add just about France is it's really good to see N'Golo Conte back for France
Right.
because he was outstanding in the 2018 and World Cup, and they missed him badly in that 2020 Euros. So it's really good to see him back, and he basically plays the role of two midfielders in that team. So yeah,
this match I said was the first goalless draw of this tournament. If you actually go back to the previous tournament, the last time there was a goalless draw was between Scotland and England in a group match in June 2021. So there have been a run of 50 games in UEFA European Championships without a goalless draw. That includes no goalless draws, which leads to a tiebreaker in the knockouts. So even
yeah.
the matches which went to
Even
tiebreaker actually had goals scored in the regulation time.
Yeah, even if I remember it correctly, if I'm remembering correctly, that Scotland England game was probably the last group stage game of that group, which had nothing riding on it. So that was a meaningless game that finished 0-0.
Yeah. So so
Right.
so again, I mean, this has been a great advertisement for the game that all the matches since then have had at least produced a goal or two. Okay. That was Group D. And then we move to Group E, which is probably the group of the tournament. After two rounds of matches, all four teams are on 3 points. It's unique. Basically, the teams which lost on round one, game day one, have won on game day two. So every team has got 3 points. Only Ukraine are on a goal difference of -2. Romania and Belgium have a goal difference of +1. Slovakia has a goal difference of 0. It all started with Slovakia versus Ukraine, and Ukraine came from behind in Dusseldorf to give themselves a chance of progressing to the knockout stages. Substitute Roman Yeremchuk was the hero for Ukraine, as his goal just 12 minutes after coming onto the pitch sealed that vital comeback win over Slovakia. Um, so
Yes.
Slovakia himself have taken a great start with Ivan Shrans, the guy who had scored the only goal in that Slovakia shock win over Belgium. And that was his first international goal in almost 3 years. 4 days later now, he scores his fifth goal for Slovakia across his career. So it puts them in a lead in within 17 minutes. And then Ukraine had to come back, and they equalized through Shaparenko in the 54th minute, and then finally Yeremchuk got that goal in the 80th minute. That goal was an absolute beauty, especially the two touches that he took. The first touch to get the ball in control, and the second touch, which was basically a tap in with the sole of his shoes, so that the ball just eludes the goalkeeper. It was classic. Ukraine had a XG of 1.51. Slovakia had an XG of 0.86. Ukraine 13 shots, 3 on target. Slovakia 14 shots, 4 on target. Lahiri, what did you make of this game?
It showed Ukrainians fighting spirit. First match they lost 3-0. Second match they are 1-0 behind. I mean, anybody would have lost every hope of getting anything from this Euro at all. And then they just turned it around in a big way. And then they started even dominating also in the pitch massively. Uh, that goal, what you were talking about, that receive and the shot, we cheer a lot of goals which are mainly long range goals, screamer, what is called it like Shakiri or other sport. But this is a beautiful display of feel, the way, as you said, he first touch of the ball and then with the soul he pushed that ball. Beautiful to watch, marvelous. Any top level striker or forward, if somebody scored like that way, you would have been proud of. His fan base would have played that. reel again and again for the next 5 days on such a this day. Massive from
Hmm, hmm. Ritom, thought about Slovakia's fight, basically beating mighty Belgium and then almost getting that draw versus Ukraine would have probably, put them into the next round.
Yeah, I think even a narrow defeat like that, I think still they have a pretty good chance. They played their last game against Romania, I think.
Slovakia
So
playing
yeah, I
Portugal.
think yeah, probably the two. I think I would say surprises of the tournament, both teams facing each other. Like if they draw that game, I think both teams have a good chance of qualifying. Even this group, I think surely will have a third place team, and that might well be Slovakia.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if both the teams draw, let's say Slovakia and if Slovakia and Romania draws, then Romania will qualify because they have a goal difference of +1. Slovakia needs to win
Yeah,
to actually qualify. Unless Ukraine loses to Belgium. If Ukraine doesn't get any point, then Slovakia, as it is, will qualify. Let me
yeah,
come to that Belgium match now. Belgium got back on track with win over Romania. It was an impressive 2-0 win with goals from Yuri Tielemans and Kevin De Bruyne. It was enough to take the points and leave, Group E wide open. Like I said, every team has now, now 3 points each. But it was not the goals that were scored, but it was the goals that were disallowed, which needs to be talked about. So far, there was a stat that I saw which said that in this tournament, if you take the leading scorer is own goal with six own goals has been scored so far. So that's the leading scorer. And number two on the list is Romelu Lukaku, if there was no VAR, okay, with 3 goals. What do you make of Lukaku's goal that was disallowed in this match, Ritom?
yeah. I think I was just going to add there are actually 5 teams in that group with 3 points. 4 teams and Romelu Lukaku with disallowed goals table. He's also on 3. So, I mean, he was slightly better yesterday, I would say, than the previous game against Slovakia. In the first game against Slovakia, like I mean, the goals that were the 2 goals that were disallowed were pretty good finishes, but some of the chances he missed was horrible. It was like a repeat of the 2022 World Cup do or die game against Croatia. He also missed 3 or 4 chances, like open nets he missed, and again similarly in the first game against Slovakia. But yesterday he was better, I would say, and the goal was disallowed on offside. I mean that can happen. But I thought Belgium were much better also, and De Bruyne was brilliant. I mean I couldn't believe that they in that midfield of Belgium they didn't play Tielemans in the first game from the start. They used him as a substitute, and he came in straight away in the starting lineup yesterday and scored. And they needed that early goal.
Lukaku now take that. I mean, he was an ex-Inter player, so he can take that shot from another Inter player, which is written "Why always me." Uh, that would suits him well.
So Group E is wide open. Anybody can qualify. Anybody can miss out. We will come to the predictions later on. Let's go to Group F. Group F, let me talk about the easier match first, which is Turkey 0 and Portugal 3, where Roberto Martinez's men proved that they were too strong for Turkey, which had lots of errors. And this win sealed the top spot in Group F for Portugal with a game to spare. They can now go in for some rest, some experimentation, some rotation in the next game. Bernardo Silva started things off with his first ever goal at a major tournament for Portugal. Before one of the most bizarre own goals, like I said, 6 own goals. Out of that, probably the cake or the icing on the cake or the cherry on the icing on the cake should go to this goal from Samit Akedin. And then finally, Bruno Fernandes tapped in to seal things. We'll talk about that goal also. Turkey still has a strong chance of advancing along with Portugal because Georgia and Czech Republic only drew. We'll come to that match also. But coming to this Turkey versus Portugal match, Vincenzo Montella, who once upon a time was the manager of Fiorentina, AC Milan, and other teams, he had trusted some of his promising youngsters in the 3-1 win over Georgia on match day 1. But he turned to more experience when he took on Portugal. So wingers Arda Güler and Kenan Yildiz were named on the bench, and they were replaced by Karim Aktürkoğlu and Yunus Algun. So the starting lineup's average age, um, you know, moved up, and it's only 3 years below the Portugal's average age. But then Turkey did have some chances. We won't say that it was plain sailing for Portugal throughout, but it was it was neither here nor there. Portugal had a XG of 1.86, 12 shots, 12 shots, and then Turkey had 0.28, again 12 shots, 3 on target. So
The
let me
difference between two teams, uh, yeah, the difference between two teams were really Turkey was uh, more of a individual brilliance. Players were showing dodging and trying to be in the penalties box, and then again try to take a shot stand, etc. And there was a perfect team display from Portugal, from defense that Rudolf Pepe to midfield and then to forward line. As a whole team, Portugal played a brilliant team game football.
Let me come to that own goal, Lahiri. Uh, have you ever seen such a beautiful own goal?
I cannot remember. I mean, really, I cannot remember. So for this Euro, my two best moments are one, England wasting time in last 10 minutes in a group stage, a second match against Denmark. This is my most memorable, beautiful moment. And the next is this goal. Even there are many cases, most of the broadcasters didn't show the goal on live when it was happening. There was an argument between Ronaldo and Cancelo because Cancelo passed the ball the way, and it was not the way Ronaldo was asking for, and they just started an argument. And in that meantime, even I'm sure most of the crowds also were not following that goal itself. So many broadcasters didn't show that live. Even when I was also watching, I didn't suddenly thought what was happening. They were arguing in that moment, and then I found that ball almost entered in that goal itself when broadcaster again showed that moment. So funny that I'm sure in after 10 years, even E2 most funny goals, it will be there in that list.
Yeah. So I have only one contender, and that is basically the king of own goals that I have seen, in a live football match. I actually watched that match on television. It was in 2005-2006 season. Inter was playing Empoli. There was a goal kick from the Empoli goalkeeper, and in fact, every Empoli player was actually in their own half. So there was 0 Empoli players in the Inter half. Of course, when that goal kick came in, then there were a few passes, and one of the balls went into the Inter half. And central defender Marco Materazzi was near the half line. So he came in from the half line towards his own goal, and right about probably from the 10 yards inside. So you all know from the exact point from which Diego Maradona started his run for the second goal. Now think if he's on the other side of the pitch, on the right, on the side of the pitch where he's scoring the goals, Materazzi was that far away from the half line. From there, he unleashed a shot which I cannot describe its velocity or its accuracy or whatever. From there, he unleashed a shot which went into the inter goal. And I have never ever seen any goalkeeper embarrassed so much by that goal from Materazzi. It was a king of own goals, but maybe now it has got a challenger through this goal that we have seen.
That time Zlatan was already in that team. Otherwise,
That
I
was
could have said
Zlatan
that
was
he was in
2005-6. He was playing for Juventus.
Milan.
No, it was
Juventus, yeah. So
Juventus.
I'm sure he was inspired in his Syria opponent from Zlatan that I could also do it.
Yeah. So it's probably that that goal, is etched in my mind like so vividly. I can describe exactly the spot from which Materazzi took that shot. Um, but then you can now relate to this goal with similar kind of photographic memory. Let me come to the third goal. And Ritam, what do you make of that assist in the third goal? Is it the assist of the tournament?
I think that will be Mittelstadt's assist for Gundogan's goal in Germany, Hungary. But I think Ronaldo has been much better than he was in the World Cup in both these two games. Even in the first game where he didn't score, there was a. I think that would have been the assist of the tournament. That back heel he did in the first game. I think who ran onto it, I can't remember. I think it was Vitinha or something. Someone who ran onto it but couldn't finish it. I think in the first game that could have been the assist of the tournament. Yeah, this was. I think this was the Turkey team that you mentioned. I think this was glimpses of the Turkey team of 2020, and the first game of Turkey this tournament was a properly new Turkish side, and they changed their players and they couldn't cope up with Portugal. I think they sort of had a free hit with that first win. I mean, they could afford to lose that game against Portugal and probably take it, still get a point in the last game of the group and qualify.
Right,
So
right.
if we stop that clock at that moment and then turn back the clock a little, ask anybody, this is the situation now. Ronaldo had the ball. Tell me whether he'll score or he'll make a pass.
If you actually do that exercise, I can say 100% people will say he takes the shot. Whether it's a goal or not is different.
Yeah,
100%.
he's always done that. Yeah, he's
Absolutely,
always shot from that
absolutely,
position.
So
absolutely.
so
So
I
it means he's becoming a monk
so yeah.
at
So
last.
I mean we were as surprised as maybe Bruno was. So
Absolutely.
so that getting that ball.
Even Bruno was also surprised what he was doing.
Yeah. So Portugal are now through,
I
but
think I think this is like a throwback to 2022 where Ronaldo's hair could have costed
Here,
Bruno a
just
goal.
catch a ball,
So
and he was claiming for that goal itself even after the match.
right, right. So the other match in this group was between Georgia and Czech Republic, and I cannot for my eyes believe how Georgia managed to pull off that 1-1 draw. Here's one stat, a couple of stats at least. Czech Republic's XG was 3.07. Georgia's was 1.11. The Czech Republic or Czechia, now that they're calling them Czechia, they took 27 shots on goal, and out of which 11 shots were on target. And the Georgians had 5 shots on goal, uh, and that's it. And then they managed to, tie 1-1. Um, in fact, none of the shots were on target, except for they scored from a penalty, which is also pretty lucky one. Czech Republic recorded 12 shots on target against Georgia, the most by a team who failed to win the match in a European Championship since records started being taken. Um, so are they going to massively rue this opportunity, Czechia, because now come up against they now come up against Turkey. Um, we feel that Czechia could have probably sealed their match here, sealed their promotion here if they had won against Georgia. Uh, will they have any issues, or do you think that the quality of play that Czechia have, they should go through with a win versus Turkey because they now need to win?
I mean, Czech was there was two games. I think against Portugal that was very disappointing. I thought that was the most unimpressive performance that I've seen from a team this Euro. But they completely turned it around against Georgia. I think they can rue that opportunity because Turkey was also fantastic against Georgia, and they probably rested few of their key players for this game only, keeping this game in mind. So I think like Turkey only need a point. Definitely, they'll go through with a point easily. It's Czech who needs to win, which I think will be difficult. Maybe they might sneak in with 2 points. Maybe the fourth, third place teams maybe goes in with 2 points. So that needs to
So,
be checked.
so right now that third place ranking is currently, I mean, of course, these rankings will change like anything. There are the six teams are Austria, Slovakia, Slovenia, Albania, Czech Republic, and Scotland are on the third places, but I think these will change. And right now, Austria, Slovakia have 3 points, so most likely to go through, even this if they finish third. Slovenia have 2 points, most likely to go through. Albania, Czech Republic, and Scotland all have 1 point each. Albania may not go through because Croatia may become the third place team there, or we do not know. Czech Republic and Scotland, we do not know yet. But let me come to the groups and their predictions. Group D, Netherlands, France, Austria, Poland. Um, let's come to Lahiri first. Who do you think will be the two automatic qualifiers?
Poland will not go at all, so we need Poland. France and Netherlands definitely uh, they will.
So you're saying France, which plays Poland, will go through, and Netherlands on 4 versus Austria on 3. Here you are saying Netherlands will go through.
Even if they draw, they will go through anyway. Uh, Austria, very less chance, but my guess is that that match will be very interesting. Ralph Bradley, Austria against Koeman's Netherlands. That would be a very interesting match.
Hmm. Hmm. Ritam, what is your take on Group D?
I think all three will qualify either way. Netherlands, France, and Austria.
Okay. So
I think France definitely will top the group, beating Poland.
whoever finishes third will also go through.
Yeah, yeah, easily. I think that already they are 3 points minimum. So
Yeah. Then Group E. Okay, let's take turns on Group E. Ritam, you go first. Who are the? I think three teams will qualify here also because all
yeah,
four teams are on
easily.
three.
Right.
All
So
yeah,
which are the three teams? Rather, let's say which team will miss out. The group matches will have Slovakia versus Romania, okay, and Belgium versus Ukraine.
I'd still back Belgium to win that game and probably top the group. The I'd like Romania played that first game. I thought was one of the performances of the tournament. So I'd like them to go through. I think for mine, I think Belgium, Romania, and Slovakia will go through because they'll not lose by more than one goal.
Okay, let's come to Lahiri.
Belgium will definitely go. Belgium will definitely go. Uh, I, I mean, in any way, Belgium will go, even second or third, I think. But I have a guess that Ukraine will surprise everybody. And uh, Slovakia may not be through.
Okay. So you're saying Belgium,
So this
Romania, and
is
Ukraine will go through.
Ukraine, Romania, Belgium. Yes.
Okay, so basically
In
you're saying
whatever order.
Belgium and Ukraine will draw because if both have to go through, Belgium and Ukraine will draw.
Right.
Romania will
Right.
have a small win against Slovakia.
Slovakia. Right.
no. I think here the situation is like only this group. we can say that one team, like all the four teams, can finish on 4 points, and then one team misses out. Like we're
Absolutely.
saying that
Absolutely.
4 points are enough, but only in this group 4 points might not be enough.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
my prediction for missing out is Romania. I have liked the spunk and the spirit of Slovakia. I think Belgium and Ukraine will go into a draw. If Belgium wins, then Ukraine are out. I think then it's
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think they'll go into a draw and Slovakia will win Romania. So my guesses are Belgium, Slovakia, and Ukraine. Let's come to Group F. Portugal are through. Who is going to be the second team? Lahiri. Czech versus Turkey
Portugal,
and Georgia versus Portugal.
Portugal already through Czech versus Turkey. I think Turkey was really abysmal in that in their last match. Completely clueless. Didn't know what to do, when to do, etc. They were had some kind of inner fighting even after that one goal whose mistake was this.
Okay.
I
Uh,
think
Ritam,
Turkey.
Ritam,
Uh,
Ritam, your prediction.
I think Turkey will beat Czech
Okay.
and be the
I
second team from that group.
I think Czech will
which
beat
I feel opposite.
I think Czech
Yeah,
will beat Turkey and go as the second team, but
Czech
Turkey
will
will
beat
still
them.
qualify as the third place team because they have 3 points.
Yeah, yeah.
So all three teams will qualify. So that was basically our roundup of groups D, E, and F. We'll come back again after the group stages finishes with our review. Till then, keep watching and keep. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with another episode very soon. Thank you all.